Have you ever watched someone you love struggle to get up from their favorite chair, and felt that knot in your stomach when you realized it's getting harder for them each day? Maybe you've noticed your own hands turning ice cold even when you're bundled up in sweaters, or perhaps you've felt that scary moment when climbing a simple flight of stairs leaves you breathless and your heart pounding like you just ran a marathon. I'm talking about those quiet, creeping changes that we try to brush off as just getting older, but deep down, you know something isn't right. Your feet feel like blocks of ice at night. Your energy crashes by mid-afternoon. That sharp mind that once solved crossword puzzles in minutes now struggles to remember where you put your glasses. And if you're caring for an elderly parent or grandparent, you've probably seen them slowly retreating from activities they once loved, their world getting smaller and smaller each day. Here's what nobody wants to talk about: poor circulation isn't just about cold hands and feet. It's the silent thief that steals independence, robs mental clarity, and turns vibrant people into shadows of themselves. When blood can't flow freely through your arteries, your brain doesn't get the oxygen it needs to think clearly. Your muscles don't get the nutrients they need to stay strong. Your heart has to work twice as hard just to keep you going. But what if I told you that right now, sitting in your kitchen, you probably have 4 ordinary ingredients that could change everything? Not expensive supplements that promise the world and deliver nothing. Not complicated medical procedures that come with scary side effects. I'm talking about 4 simple, natural ingredients that have been helping people boost their circulation and clear their arteries for thousands of years, ingredients that modern science is finally catching up to and saying, wow, this actually works better than we thought. Today, you're going to discover exactly what these 4 ingredients are, how each one works like a key to unlock better blood flow, and most importantly, the specific way you need to combine them to get results that might shock you. But here's the thing that even surprised me: the order matters. The timing matters. Get it wrong, and you're just wasting your time. Get it right, and you could see improvements in just days. If you're here because you refuse to accept that declining circulation is just part of getting older, if you're here because you want to take control of your health or help someone you love feel strong and energized again, then comment "circulation" below right now. I want to know who's ready to fight for better health today. And make sure you're subscribed to Elderly Health Central, because what I'm about to share with you could be the game changer you've been searching for. Ingredient number 1, raw garlic, nature's artery cleanser. Now, let me tell you about Rosalie. She's a 78-year-old grandmother who came to me about 8 months ago, and I'll never forget the worry in her voice when she described what was happening to her. She said her hands were constantly cold, not just chilly, but ice cold to the touch, even when she was wearing gloves indoors. She was exhausted all the time, struggling to get through simple daily tasks that used to be second nature to her. Rosalie had been to her doctor, and he'd mentioned something vague about circulation issues, but didn't offer much help beyond suggesting she take these pills and try to stay warm. She felt dismissed, frustrated, and honestly, a little scared about what this meant for her future. She wondered if this was just her new reality, if being cold and tired was simply part of getting older. But here's the beautiful part of Rosalie's story. Within just 3 weeks of incorporating raw garlic into her daily routine the way I'm about to show you, everything changed. She called me, almost crying with joy, to tell me she was back in her garden, something she hadn't been able to do for months. Her hands were warm for the first time in years, and she had energy to play with her grandchildren again. So what made the difference? It all comes down to a remarkable compound in garlic called allicin. Now, here's the thing most people don't understand about garlic: allicin isn't just sitting there waiting for you. It's only activated when garlic is crushed or chopped, and then something magical happens, but only if you wait. When you crush fresh garlic, you're breaking down the cell walls and allowing 2 compounds to come together and create allicin. This powerful compound acts as what scientists call a natural vasodilator, which is a fancy way of saying it helps your blood vessels relax and widen, allowing blood to flow more freely through your body. The research on this is absolutely incredible. Studies have shown that regular garlic consumption can reduce arterial stiffness by up to 40%. That means your arteries become more flexible, more youthful, better able to expand and contract as your heart pumps blood through your system. It can also lower blood pressure significantly, taking strain off your heart and reducing your risk of serious cardiovascular problems. But here's what most people don't know, and this is crucial: the way you prepare garlic determines how much allicin you actually get. And unfortunately, almost everyone is doing it wrong. Most people either swallow those garlic pills you see at the health food store, thinking they're getting the same benefits, or they cook garlic immediately after chopping it. Both of these approaches completely destroy the allicin before it can even form. You might as well be eating cardboard for all the good it's doing your circulation. Then there are the brave souls who try to eat whole cloves of raw garlic, thinking more must be better. Not only is this unpleasant, it'll burn your mouth and upset your stomach, but it's actually less effective because you're not properly activating the allicin. The biggest mistake I see people make is not understanding that allicin is both heat-sensitive and time-dependent. Heat it too quickly, and you destroy it. Don't give it enough time to form, and you never get it in the first place. So here's the correct method, and I want you to pay close attention because this could be the difference between success and disappointment. Take 2 to 3 fresh garlic cloves, and they must be fresh, not the pre-chopped stuff in jars, and crush or finely chop them. Then, and this is the key part, let them sit for exactly 10 minutes. Set a timer if you have to. This 10-minute waiting period allows maximum allicin formation. Now, I know what you're thinking: raw garlic sounds awful to eat. But here's how you make it palatable: mix it with a teaspoon of raw honey, which not only makes it taste better but actually enhances the absorption of the beneficial compounds. You can also add it to room temperature olive oil and use it as a dressing. One crucial rule: never heat it immediately after chopping. If you're adding it to warm food, add it at the very end, after you've removed the food from heat. The residual warmth is fine, but direct heat will destroy everything you're trying to accomplish. While garlic opens up your arteries like keys unlocking doors throughout your circulatory system, our next ingredient actually helps strengthen and protect them from the inside out, creating a 1-2 punch that can transform how you feel. Ingredient number 2. Fresh ginger root, the circulation catalyst. Let me introduce you to Richard, an 82-year-old retired teacher who has become one of my favorite success stories. When Richard first contacted me, he had this wonderful sense of humor about his situation, but I could hear the frustration underneath. He used to joke that his legs felt like dead wood by afternoon, completely numb and heavy, like they didn't even belong to him anymore. Richard's circulation was so poor that even short walks to the mailbox left him exhausted and breathless. He'd gone from being an active man who loved hiking and gardening to someone who spent most of his day in a recliner, watching life pass by through his window. His family was worried, and honestly, so was he. But Richard was determined not to give up. After adding fresh ginger to his morning routine exactly the way I'm going to show you, something incredible happened. Within the first week, he started experiencing what he called electric energy in his legs. It wasn't just wishful thinking. He could actually feel warmth and sensation returning to areas that had been numb for months. 6 months later, Richard was walking 3 miles every single day, something he hadn't done in over a decade. He called me last month to tell me he'd taken up hiking again and was planning a camping trip with his grandson. The transformation was nothing short of remarkable. So what makes ginger so powerful for circulation? It comes down to 2 incredible compounds called gingerol and shogal. These compounds have remarkable effects on blood circulation that work in ways that complement what garlic does, but with their own unique benefits. First, gingerol and shogal help prevent blood clots by making your blood less sticky and more fluid. Think of it like thinning out thick honey so it can flow more easily. They also reduce inflammation in your blood vessels, which is crucial because inflammation is one of the main culprits behind poor circulation and arterial damage. But here's where ginger really shines: it stimulates circulation by warming the body from within. You know that warming sensation you feel when you drink ginger tea? That's not just a pleasant feeling, that's your circulation improving in real time. Your blood vessels are dilating, your blood is flowing more freely, and oxygen and nutrients are reaching parts of your body that may have been starved for proper circulation. The research on ginger and circulation is impressive. Studies show that ginger can improve peripheral circulation, that's the blood flow to your hands, feet, arms, and legs, by up to 35%. It also helps prevent the formation of arterial plaque, which is the buildup that can clog your arteries and lead to serious cardiovascular problems. But here's the critical point that most people miss. The key is using fresh ginger, not the dried powder that most people have sitting in their spice rack for years. Many people think that ginger tea from tea bags or dried ginger powder provides the same benefits, and I hate to break it to you, but it doesn't. The active compounds in fresh ginger are significantly more potent and bioavailable, meaning your body can actually use them effectively. Another mistake I see all the time is people using too little ginger to get any real therapeutic benefit. You need enough to feel that warming sensation throughout your body, which means most people aren't using nearly enough to actually improve their circulation. Here's what works: use a 2-inch piece of fresh ginger root daily. When you're preparing it, peel it with the edge of a spoon rather than a knife to preserve the beneficial compounds that are concentrated just under the skin. Then grate it finely. The finer you grate it, the more surface area you create and the more compounds you release. You can steep it in hot water for tea, blend it into smoothies, or, and this is my preferred method for our circulation blend, juice it fresh and mix it with the other ingredients we're discussing. The key is consuming it within 30 minutes of preparation for maximum potency, because like garlic, the beneficial compounds start to degrade once they're exposed to air. Now, while ginger gets your blood moving like a gentle engine warming up, our third ingredient does something even more remarkable. It actually helps repair damaged blood vessels, like having a maintenance crew working on your circulatory system from the inside. Ingredient number 3, raw apple cider vinegar, the vessel restorer. I want to tell you about Helen, a 75-year-old artist whose story really touched my heart. Helen had been struggling with swollen ankles and painful varicose veins that made standing at her easel almost unbearable. As an artist, painting wasn't just her hobby, it was her passion, her identity, her reason for getting up in the morning. But her circulation problems were stealing that away from her. The swelling in her ankles would start within minutes of standing, and the pain from her varicose veins made it impossible to focus on her art. She'd gone from painting for hours at a time to barely being able to manage 15 minutes before she had to sit down. Helen was heartbroken. She felt like her body was betraying her, taking away the one thing that brought her the most joy. She'd tried compression socks, elevation, even some expensive creams that promised to help with circulation, but nothing seemed to make a real difference. That's when Helen decided to try incorporating raw apple cider vinegar into her daily routine, following the specific method I'm about to share with you. Within just a few days, she noticed the swelling in her ankles starting to decrease. But the real transformation happened over the following 3 months. Her varicose veins, which had been dark, bulging, and painful for years, began to visibly improve. The pain decreased dramatically, and she found herself able to stand at her easel for hours without discomfort. Helen called me, practically in tears of joy, to tell me she just finished her first painting in over a year and was planning to enter it in a local art show. So what makes raw apple cider vinegar so powerful for circulation and vascular health? It all comes down to the fact that raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother contains enzymes and beneficial bacteria that help improve circulation in multiple ways that work synergistically with our other ingredients. First, apple cider vinegar helps alkalize your blood. When your blood is too acidic, it becomes sticky and thick, making it harder for your heart to pump it through your circulatory system. By alkalizing your blood, apple cider vinegar makes it less sticky and more fluid, allowing it to flow more easily through even your smallest blood vessels. The acetic acid in apple cider vinegar also improves the flexibility of your blood vessel walls. Think of your blood vessels like garden hoses. When they're stiff and inflexible, blood can't flow through them efficiently. But when they're flexible and elastic, blood can flow freely, delivering oxygen and nutrients where they're needed most. Apple cider vinegar is also rich in potassium, which is crucial for regulating blood pressure and maintaining healthy blood vessel function. Most people don't get nearly enough potassium in their diet, and this deficiency can contribute to poor circulation and cardiovascular problems. The research on apple cider vinegar and circulation is compelling. Studies indicate that regular consumption can improve endothelial function, that's the inner lining of your blood vessels, by up to 28%. When your endothelium is healthy, your blood vessels can properly dilate and contract, regulating blood flow throughout your body. But here's where most people go wrong, and these mistakes can actually do more harm than good. The biggest mistake is using regular, processed vinegar instead of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar with the mother. You know that cloudy, stringy stuff you see floating in good apple cider vinegar? That's the mother, and it contains the most beneficial compounds. Without the mother, you're missing out on the enzymes, beneficial bacteria, and other compounds that make apple cider vinegar effective for circulation. Another serious error is taking it undiluted. I've had people tell me they just take a shot of apple cider vinegar straight, thinking more is better, but this can actually damage your tooth enamel and throat tissue. It's also harsh on your digestive system and can cause stomach upset or even burns. Taking too much too quickly is another mistake that can cause digestive upset, nausea, or even dangerous drops in potassium levels if you overdo it. Here's the safe and effective method. Always dilute 1 to 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar in 8 ounces of water. Drink it through a straw to protect your teeth. The acid can erode tooth enamel over time if it comes into direct contact. Always consume it before meals for optimal absorption, because your digestive system is primed and ready to process nutrients. Never take it on an empty stomach if you have any digestive sensitivities. It can be too harsh and cause more problems than benefits. For our circulation blend that I'll be sharing with you, we'll be using apple cider vinegar in a specific ratio that maximizes its benefits while minimizing any potential side effects. The key is consistency and proper preparation. Our final ingredient might surprise you because most people think of it as just a spice you sprinkle on pizza, but it's actually one of the most powerful circulation enhancers on the planet, and when combined with our other 3 ingredients, it creates an effect that's almost immediate. Ingredient number 4, cayenne pepper, the circulation supercharger. I have to share Frank's story with you because it perfectly illustrates both the skepticism and the incredible results that people experience with our final ingredient. Frank is an 80-year-old gentleman with Irish heritage, and when he first heard about using cayenne pepper for circulation, he literally laughed out loud and told me there was no way his Irish palate could handle spicy food. Frank had grown up on meat and potatoes, and the spiciest thing he'd ever eaten was maybe some black pepper on his eggs. The idea of deliberately consuming hot pepper seemed ridiculous to him. But after months of declining energy and increasingly cold extremities that made it painful to even hold a coffee cup, Frank was willing to try anything. We started him off with just a tiny pinch, and I mean tiny, barely visible to the naked eye, mixed into his morning routine. Gradually, over several weeks, he worked up to what we call a therapeutic dose. Frank was amazed that he could tolerate much more than he'd ever imagined, and more importantly, the results were undeniable. Within just a few weeks, Frank reported feeling warmth in his fingers and toes for the first time in years. But the real transformation was in his energy levels. They absolutely soared. Frank went from struggling to get through basic daily activities to taking long walks around his neighborhood and even starting to work in his garage workshop again. The secret behind Frank's transformation lies in cayenne pepper's most powerful compound, capsaicin. This is one of nature's most powerful circulatory stimulants, and the effects are both immediate and long-lasting. When you consume capsaicin, it causes immediate vasodilation throughout your entire circulatory system. Your blood vessels open up, allowing blood to flow more freely to every part of your body. But it doesn't stop there. Capsaicin also strengthens your heart muscle, making it more efficient at pumping blood throughout your system. Capsaicin helps prevent blood clots by reducing the stickiness of your blood, and here's something that really amazed me when I first learned about it: it can actually help rebuild damaged blood vessel walls. Your circulatory system has an incredible ability to repair itself when given the right tools, and capsaicin provides exactly what it needs. The research on capsaicin and circulation is absolutely mind-blowing. Studies show that capsaicin can increase circulation by up to 400% within minutes of consumption. That's not a typo, 400%. And with regular use, these improvements become permanent, leading to lasting improvements in cardiovascular health. But despite these incredible benefits, most people avoid cayenne pepper entirely, and it's usually because of misconceptions and mistakes that are completely avoidable. The biggest misconception is that people think cayenne will be too hot to handle, but therapeutic doses are much smaller than what you'd use for cooking. You're not trying to make your mouth burn, you're looking for a gentle warming sensation that spreads throughout your body. Others try to take cayenne in capsule form, thinking they'll avoid the heat altogether, but they're missing out on the immediate circulatory response that comes from actually tasting it. When capsaicin hits your taste buds, it triggers an immediate response throughout your nervous system that signals your blood vessels to dilate. Skip that step, and you lose a significant portion of the benefit. The biggest mistake is starting with too much and getting discouraged by the heat. I've had people tell me they tried cayenne once, it burned their mouth, and they never tried it again. That's like deciding you hate swimming because you jumped into the deep end before learning how to float. Here's the right approach: start with just 1/16 of a teaspoon, that's barely a pinch, smaller than what you'd put on your fingertip, mixed into your blend. You can gradually increase this over weeks as your tolerance builds, but remember, the goal isn't to burn your mouth. You want to feel a gentle warming sensation that spreads throughout your body, like someone turned up your internal thermostat. Always take cayenne with food or mixed with other ingredients to avoid stomach irritation. For people with sensitive stomachs or those who are particularly concerned about the heat, you can start by mixing it with honey, which helps coat your mouth and throat and makes the experience much more pleasant. Now that you understand each ingredient's unique power: garlic opening your arteries, ginger stimulating circulation, apple cider vinegar repairing your blood vessels, and cayenne supercharging everything, let me show you how combining them creates a synergistic effect that's truly greater than the sum of its parts, and why the order and timing of how you mix them could mean the difference between good results and life-changing results. I want to pause here for a moment and speak directly to your heart, because I know that dealing with circulation problems, whether they're your own or a loved one's, can feel absolutely overwhelming and frightening. If you're watching this video, chances are you've been living with that constant worry in the back of your mind. Maybe you've noticed your own hands getting colder, your energy fading earlier each day, or that simple tasks are becoming harder than they used to be. Or perhaps you're watching someone you love, a parent, a grandparent, a spouse, slowly losing their vitality, their independence, their spark, and you feel helpless to stop it. I understand that heartbreak. I've seen it in the eyes of countless families who come to me desperate for answers. Watching someone you care about struggle with fatigue, cold extremities, or declining mobility is one of the most painful experiences in life. You want to help, but you don't know how. You've maybe tried prescription medications that came with disappointing results or concerning side effects that sometimes felt worse than the original problem. You might have been told that declining circulation is just part of getting older, and that you should learn to accept it. But I'm here to tell you that's simply not true. The good news, the really good news, is that these 4 simple ingredients we've just discussed offer hope. Real, tangible hope backed by both solid science and centuries of traditional use by people who understood the power of natural healing. Instead of feeling helpless about declining circulation, you now have the knowledge to take control naturally. This isn't about replacing medical care or ignoring your doctor's advice. It's about empowering yourself with additional tools that can work alongside conventional treatment to give you the best possible outcomes. Every single time you prepare this mixture, you're making a powerful choice. You're choosing to fight for better health, better circulation, and ultimately, a better quality of life. You're refusing to accept decline as inevitable. You're taking back control of your health and your future. But here's the thing I need you to understand: knowledge without action remains just information. If you or someone you love is dealing with poor circulation, don't wait until tomorrow, don't wait until next week, don't wait until things get worse. Start today, even if it's just with one ingredient. Even if that feels more manageable right now. Remember Rosalie with her cold hands who's back in her garden? Richard with his dead wood legs who's now hiking with his grandson? Helen with her painful varicose veins who's painting again? Frank with his Irish palate who discovered he could handle more than he ever imagined? Their transformations didn't happen overnight, but they all started with the same thing: a single decision to try something different. Your circulation can improve. Your energy can return. Those cold hands and feet can become warm again. Age doesn't have to mean accepting declining health as inevitable. With patience, consistency, and the right natural approach, you can experience remarkable improvements that will surprise you and everyone around you. The path to better circulation starts with believing it's possible, and then taking that first step forward into a healthier, more vibrant future. Let's quickly recap what we've discovered today about our powerful 4-ingredient circulation blend. We have raw garlic. Nature's artery cleanser that opens up your blood vessels and reduces arterial stiffness. Fresh ginger root, the circulation catalyst that gets your blood moving with that warming energy from within. Raw apple cider vinegar, the vessel restorer that actually helps repair and strengthen your blood vessels while making your blood flow more freely. And cayenne pepper, the circulation supercharger that can boost your blood flow by up to 400% within minutes. Remember, preparation method and timing are absolutely crucial for maximum effectiveness. Get these details right, and you could see results that amaze you. Get them wrong, and you're just wasting your time and ingredients. Now I'm genuinely curious about something, and I want to hear from you in the comments below. Which of these ingredients surprised you the most? I'm betting it was probably the cayenne pepper. Most people never think of it as a circulation powerhouse. Have you tried any of these ingredients before for circulation issues? Maybe you've been drinking ginger tea or taking garlic supplements. Share your experience with me. I love hearing real stories from real people. And here's something I want you to think about that might spark some interesting discussion. Do you think the order of combining these ingredients matters? Does it make a difference if you mix the garlic first or the apple cider vinegar first? What about the timing? Should you take them all at once or spread them throughout the day? I'll reveal the optimal mixing sequence and timing in next week's video, but I'd absolutely love to hear your guesses and theories in the comments. If this video opened your eyes to natural circulation solutions that you never knew existed, please hit that like button. It really helps more people find this information. And if you're not already subscribed to Elderly Health Central, I'd love to have you join our community. We're building something special here. A group of people who believe in taking charge of their health naturally, who refuse to accept decline as inevitable, and who support each other on this journey toward better health. Your subscription doesn't just help you stay informed about the latest natural health solutions, it helps us reach more people who desperately need this information. Every subscriber helps us spread the word to families who are struggling with the same circulation issues you might be facing. Remember, better circulation is not just about physical symptoms, it's about so much more than that. It's about reclaiming your vitality, your energy, your independence. It's about being able to play with your grandchildren without getting exhausted. It's about having warm hands to hold the people you love. It's about maintaining your zest for life and refusing to let age define your limitations. Keep taking care of yourself and those you love. I'll see you next week with more natural health solutions that actually work. solutions that can help you live your best life at any age. Until then, stay healthy, stay hopeful, and keep your blood flowing strong.